You're watching New Vision TV, and here's what's making news. I'm Lynn Komjisha. Since it was named Lake Victoria mid-19th century by British explorer John Speke in total disregard of its local names like Nalubale, Africa's largest lake, has claimed thousands of lives. Now, as Uganda still absorbs the shock of scores who drowned on Saturday when their boat sank off Mutima beach in Mukono near Kampala, New Vision TV looks at the reasons why the marine tragedies are not about to end in Uganda. Ever since it was renamed Lake Victoria mid-19th century by British explorer John Speke in total disregard of its local names like Nalubale, Africa's largest lake has claimed thousands of lives. As Uganda still absorbs the shock of scores who drowned on Saturday when their boat sank off Mutima Island in Mukono near Kampala, New Vision TV looks at the reasons why the marine tragedies are not about to end in Uganda. Deaths on Lake Victoria are not new. In the 19th century, most deaths on the lake were from military battles, as the kings of Uganda, boasting of firepower of thousands of rifles brought from Arabs, sought to control the continent's largest water body. They eventually did, and as they policed the lake, they levied taxes on merchandise, in addition to conquering and annexing most islands to their kingdom. The last king to control Lake Victoria was Mwanga II, with a flotilla of thousands of boats he inherited from his father Mutesa I and grandfather Suna II. After the colonial takeover at the start of 20th century, death on Lake Victoria in battles came to an end. The colonial administrators did a complete cartographic mapping of the lake, establishing routes for marine vessels and identifying other water currents, though the traditional sailors also knew them. Safety was strictly enforced, and the inland water transport was even revised in 1964, soon after independence. The Vessel Registration Act of 1904 was not revised, though. There are efforts to update all marine laws, which also need to be brought in line with modern technological challenges. As enforcement weakened following the advent of military rule in 1971, the marine accidents started rising. In the mid-70s, following the coffee crop failure in Brazil that made prices shoot up elsewhere, the military government deployed helicopter gunships to hunt down people smuggling their coffee to Kenya to get better prices. Hundreds perished as their boats were sunk by the military. The killing of coffee traders, which lasted almost a year, was the last of deliberately caused deaths on Lake Victoria, but the deaths by marine accidents continue to increase. There have since been more deaths reported, sometimes hundreds in a single incident from the Tanzania side of the lake, where marine transport is heavily used between the towns of Bukoba and Mwanza. In Uganda, at the height of the Constituent Assembly debates in 1994, disaster struck when a marine accident between Kalangala and the city claimed many lives, including that of a delegate from the island, one Semala Chiwanuka, who was husband to musician Halima Namakula. Many boat accidents have been happening every year, claiming several people. But last Saturdays that killed scores, some of whose bodies are still missing, is the most shocking in recent times. It could be long before a conclusive report is issued, as no technical committee has yet been instituted to investigate the matter. Debate is raging everywhere over the accident. Below are some of the facts that can help put Saturday's tragedy in perspective. First, many accounts state clearly that the boat which carried partygoers from KK Beach in Gaba was in terrible, bad condition. The police state that an officer at the beach where it sailed from tried to stop it from taking off, but was intimidated by the high-profile passengers. All accounts also are unanimous that the boat was overloaded with over 100 passengers, though it shouldn't have carried more than 50. Unfortunately, there was even no complete passenger manifest, so some people whose dear ones perished will take long to know that they are dead. It is also generally agreed that not everybody had a life jacket. In fact, top musician Irene Namubiru, who was on board, said the jackets were available, but the socialites did not wear them because they didn't look cool in them. There's lack of clarity on who should do what to ensure marine safety. The police director operations, Osman Mujenyi, is emphatic that their job is to fight pirates and smugglers, but the standards of marine vessels is the job of Ministry of Works. The Works State Minister Agre Bajire says they have been looking for that fatal boat. He says it was not licensed and has been dodging them because they have been looking for it. He says it has been grounded for 3 months and was hastily repaired, not tested before it was put on the water with an excessive load. The operators who owned the boat, Templar Bisase and his wife Sheila, also died in the accident. Following the accident, President Yoweri Museveni has ordered for compulsory licensing of all boats on the lake and fitting them with electronic tracking devices. However, tough measures may not achieve much if the Ugandans' mindset regarding safety does not change. It is a country where people have to be forced to use car seat belts for their safety, where drivers insist on talking on the phone while driving, and in spite of a fifth of the country being covered with water, majority of the citizens never learned to swim. Moving on, days have come and gone, but November 24th, 2018 is a day that will forever pin itself in the memories of those that lost their loved ones in a fun-filled boat cruise that turned into a massacre. During a press briefing yesterday, Norbert Mao, the President General of Democratic Party, extended condolences to the bereaved families. Mao further blamed the crisis on the passengers, who he criticized for being indisciplined after they failed to follow the orders of the police officers who told them that the boat was in a poor mechanical state to be used, especially for such a big number of the revelers. Now, Geoffrey Wandera was not a leading contender, but Lady Luck smiled at him. After the disqualification of 2 leading contenders and the withdrawal of 2 other candidates, he became the only bull in the race. The Electoral Commission is mandated to swear in such a person, and he was henceforth sworn in as the new chairman, Local Council 5, Busia District. However, he has been received by less enthusiasm, and the court order hangs on his head. His Tuesday swearing-in ceremony was even witnessed by a handful of people amid tight security. The next few weeks or months will be a battle in court by Hasubin Njoki's team, who wanted to block his ascension to the seat. In sports news, many headline writers announced how their arrival would shake up the established order. The team quickly meant business and captured the T20 Cup at the expense of Olila during the start of the season. On Saturday, the atmosphere at Chambogo Oval was supercharged, the end of an 8-wicket victory over Wanderers as they became champions of the Jazz Safari National Women's League. Interestingly, they won with a difference of just 1 point, Olila High School. Top signings in form of Kenyan players Sarah Bakita, Margaret Banja and Sylvia Kinywa brought a lot on the table with their wealthy experience in the game. Importantly, senior players Gertrude Chandiru and Konsi Aweko additions meant that Damani became a solid side to supplement on immaculate Nachisuye's overwhelming abilities. You're still watching New Vision TV, and now for Pearl of Africa series, we take a look at Lake Mburo National Park. Lake Mburo is a savanna park in western Uganda where mostly giraffes and zebras roam with other wild animals. The sounds of the birds and the wind from Lake Mburo blowing through the park create a priceless experience one cannot find anywhere in the wilderness. Let's have a look.
About 20% of Lake Mburo National Park's surface is covered with water. This combination makes the park a perfect place for a short wildlife safari of 2 or 3 days to give one a taste of the African wilderness in Uganda. Lake Mburo is a savanna park in western Uganda where mostly giraffes and zebras roam, and where other wild animals also gather in groups and roam in certain sections of the park. The boat cruises are among the activities that people enjoy while here. Together with 13 other lakes around the area, Lake Mburo forms part of a 50-kilometer-long wetland system linked to a swamp. 5 of these lakes lie within the park's borders. While on the boat cruise, you get a clear view of the plains that act as a shield around the water. The boat ride on Lake Mburo gets you in touch with the flora and fauna of the lake. Along the banks, you will see loads of animals coming for water, especially during the dry seasons. There are about 69 species of mammals found here at Lake Mburo, including the impala antelopes, eland antelopes, Bashel zebras, the Rothschild giraffes, warthogs, among so many others. Now, a few leopards and some lions find shelter in the trees of Lake Mburo National Park. For more Pearl of Africa stories, visit our website, which is www.newvision.co.ug. Our newspaper, the Sunday Vision, is also another home of adventures, so grab your copy every Sunday for Pearl of Africa stories.
And that's all we had for you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch more of your updates and more stories by visiting www.newvision.co.ug. I am Lynn Komjisha.